keep on trucking. Sip of water, move on. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We'd like to get started. We'll open with a pledge and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gracious Lord, we come before you today, just ask that you be with us and guide and direct us as we conduct the affairs of the county. We just ask you to be with those who can't be here today, that you would give them a full measure of healing if they're ill, and especially be with travelers today as the roads are declining quickly with this weather. We ask you to continue to bless us as a community, that we think, say, and do those things that are pleasing to you and that prosper and keep our community safe. Be especially with those people working in the county today, the Sheriff's Department, the Highway Department, those people who have to be out on the roads. We just ask you to be with them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I'd like to call the meeting to order and entertain a motion for the signing of the claims and minutes.
Make a motion to approve the claims minutes.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Kerry Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thank you for joining us, Brad.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting me in.
County Veteran Service Officer Darrell McDowell. Ready for, good morning, good to see you.
All right, fantastic. I trust everybody's now recovering from the Thanksgiving holidays and transitioning to the Christmas holidays upcoming forward. But what I do ask is that each of you and the family members check yourself. These are always stressful times, and trying to make everything right. So take care of yourself as well as you take care of your family members throughout the holidays. That way everyone comes out of this in a better state of mind and compassion for all. But with that, I'm here to present the Commissioner's Choice Veteran for the month of December. Rogers Studebaker was born in March 1949 at Fort Wayne, Indiana, to J. Paul and Doris Studebaker. He is one of 6 children, 4 brothers, 1 sister. Gotta love the mother. She's putting up with that. Roger graduated from Larwill High School in 1967, went straight to work to farming and hauling chickens for his grandfather on the side. I guess that's a good way to earn some extra money and working through that until he joined the United States Marine Corps in April of 1969. Following the completion of his basic training and advanced individual training as a wireman in the California area, he returned home to get married. He married Sue Hollycross in August of 1969. So he's done his training, getting ready, gets a break, comes home, gets married. More to follow. Then, after about 2 weeks, he returns to San Diego, California to be shipped to Vietnam. She remained there while he was deployed to Vietnam. He was assigned to the 9th Communication Battalion, which I don't think is still exists right now, but it is a long history lineage that supported our wars throughout. Part of the 9th, the 3rd Marine Amphibious Brigade, which they keep changing that from time to time, in Da Nang, Vietnam. Now, Da Nang was a major headquarters, but he was a wireman. So can you imagine in a combat situation, you're really trying to stay hidden, but him, by his job, had to climb up telephone poles and put wire or fix wire if it was damaged. So you can imagine the anxiety and that brings by you being above the treetops in a clear target. So my hat's off to you, and thank you for that and being back with us to be able to tell us the stories there. Roger served the United States Marine Corps and was honorably discharged in September of 1970 with the rank of corporal. During his service, he received the National Defense Service Medal, Republic Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, and also the Expert Rifleman badge. After proudly serving, Roger returned home to his lovely wife, Sue, to Laurelville, Indiana, to work with the United Telephone Company. For those of you who've been around here a long time, you know that was
Ages ago.
that was ages ago. Yeah, I think it's Bright Star now. But to initially do buried telephone cables. And then shortly after that, he said, hey, let me move on. Let me go to LML Fabrication. He worked in the shipping department. In 1971, though, he enrolled in a 2-year college associate degree program in electronics. In 1973, Sue, Roger, and their first child, Jonathan, moved to Kosciuszko County due to his job promotion that required him to live within 15 minutes of the telephone company's headquarters, which was located in Warsaw. As all know, the education, until he retired in 2014. Now, retirement for most of these folks, that's just that job. He never stopped. He's been working on the farms and continues to work on the farms. Although Sue is no longer physically with us, she still remains mentally and spiritually in Roger's memories. Together, they have 4 children, Jonathan, Janet, Joseph, Jonah, and blessed with 10 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren. Today, Roger continues to live on the farm outside of Pierceton, Indiana. He enjoys working on the farm, building wheelchair ramps for disabled veterans and low-income folks in our community with the SAWS group, which stands for Servants at Work. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our Veteran of the Month, Roger Studebaker. All right. Presentation of the certificate. Kosciuszko County awards the Veteran of the Month, Roger Studebaker, in recognition of his outstanding contributions in the mission of serving the people of the United States, the residents of Kosciuszko County, and the honorable service as a member of the United States Marine Corps. Thank you for your service.
I want to thank you guys for this honor. There's a lot of others out there that deserve it more than me, but thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that. County Highway, Steve Moriarty. It's white rain out there today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have 2 things today to bring before you. One is going to be a supplemental agreement between USI Consulting Group and Kosciuszko County, and this is for Bridge 227. With that agreement, this is the #1 agreement we've had, or the first agreement that we've had with them. That's an adjustment. The PE contract funds will be moved or zeroed out, and then they will be added to bridge design. So there's no additional cost for the county highway, but we have to make sure that we have that agreement so we can move one funds to another for NDOT and federal highway.
I'd make a motion to approve that move of funds.
Second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Carrie Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Okay, very good.
The next thing that I have is that we have in our budget to buy trucks, and we would like to use, purchase and get in line for two tandem axles and one single axle. Since 2021, they canceled our order, so it's been 2 years since we've had new trucks. We still won't get these till next year, but this is from the National Auto Fleet Group, and it's a Sourcewell contract for one single axle for $285,072. And then the tandems are $314,777. And we'd like to buy two tandems and one single.
And that'll use the monies from this year as well as what was budgeted for 2024.
That is correct.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of those 3 trucks.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I know, Steve, we just got back from the County Commissioners Conference in Indianapolis. Every commissioner I talked to from counties throughout the entire state have all been euchred by this type of thing, where these trucks just are not available. And everybody I talked to, they're doing what, they're trying to find slightly wrecked trucks and reconditioning them so that they can use them. So it's a tough road to hoe, and you're doing a tremendous job. I call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob
Aye.
Conley, aye.
Oh, sorry.
Carrie Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Keep up the good work. County Assessor Gail Chapman. Good morning, Gail.
How's everyone doing?
I see you're still with us. That's great.
I am still with you.
After last month, it was tough.
First of all, the clarification, Ed called me this morning about the termination of contract. I put this in the packet just so that you know it has been taken care of.
Okay.
I met with them personally last Wednesday and hand-delivered it to them. So
Okay.
they received their 30-day notice, they accepted the termination. We had some discussion about some of the issues that went on during the year. And at this point, I think we still parted speaking to each other. So I
Okay.
consider that a win-win for both sides.
I know
So
you were quite passionate about that, and we appreciate that.
I
Thank
am,
you.
yes, very passionate about it. So the second thing, and I don't really want to read the whole thing that I sent to you guys, because I'm sure you already read it, but attached with the letter to all of you is the Kosciuszko Commercial Industrial Service Agreement. This is different from the contract that we had with Vision in the pure essence that Frank Kelly, who is the president of Nexus LTD, is going to be training Jennifer Spires. And Jennifer, come on up, and I'll go ahead and introduce you so they all know who's.
Good morning.
This is Jennifer Spires. She's going to be the supervisor of our commercial industrial department.
Very good.
She's already jumped in and started working, so I just wanted everybody to know who it was going to be and that we have someone in place, and we are moving forward with it.
Very
So-
good. Welcome. Congratulations. You bet.
So this service agreement, I'm sure you all read it, basically encompasses all the work that will be done in commercial and industrial, but Frank will be the head of the training, but Jennifer will be beside him. She will be outside with him in all aspects of it while the training is going on. So this is not the kind of contract like we had with Vision. I have this basically in place for a year to find out how much Jennifer can learn and get under her belt. And then at the end of the year, I will reevaluate where Jennifer is at, where she feels comfortable at, and where she feels like she needs some additional training. And then I will put that into place for the following year. So I'm asking for you guys to trust me on this, that I've chosen the right person. I've talked to Sue Ann Mitchell about it. I think she is happy with who we chose, and I think we're going to get a lot more service for the money that we're paying out for that this year. And then this allows us to bring it back in office, which I am extremely passionate about. That is my goal, to bring it back in office.
Okay.
Gail, I appreciate all your hard work in trying to find somebody that can come alongside and train up our employees, so we can do that. Question I had on the contract, I mean, they had an hourly rate there and kind of a gross number, so it is billed by the hour, or is it a,
It is going to be billed by the hour, but it will not exceed
the number of
the yearly amount. And I wanted to make sure that,
some sort
that
of a
he
cap.
put that in there. And I informed him, I said, we have to budget a total amount for the year. And this also, and I know this was not included in our last contract with Vision. This also includes any appeals that would go to the state. His attorney would be called in on those. There is no extra charge for that, for them to
That's
handle
huge.
them at the state. There's no overages. If he has to do more work, if there's more involved, he's not charging us more for it. Honestly, guys, I think this is probably a win-win for my office and for the county and for the taxpayers as well.
It's good to be able to get that assessment done because that's an integral part of our tax base.
It
that
is a very
commercial
integral
industrial.
part. I have personally, I just wanted you to know where we're at with that, so you guys can rest a little bit easier. I have personally gone through every building permit that we have had for the last 2 years. I know exactly what has been done, what has been looked at. We still have about, I'm going to say, maybe 20 to 25 that, for whatever reason, the building permits during June and July, I don't know what they did with them because they never got looked at. I can't answer that. So we are physically going to go out and look at every single one of them by the end of the year, beginning of January, and we will know exactly what is done, the percentage that's done, and we'll be able to assess that amount for January 1st of '24. So it is, everything is controlled. We know exactly where we're heading with this, and I think we feel pretty good about it at this point. My team has worked very, very hard to get us caught up, so.
Very good.
Very impressed with my office.
Yeah, well, we are too. Thank you, appreciate
you.
that. Do you have anything further?
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement as contracted.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thank you,
you,
guys.
Gail.
I appreciate it.
Keep up the good work. Reedy Financial Group discussion? That's something new. I didn't know you
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here to request that you consider the contract that we have with Reedy Financial. I believe in your budget for next year, we've allocated money for that contract, and so I'm just here to request that. Our primary purpose in contracting with Reedy Financial is for planning purposes in the future, and so we're really looking at them as a tool to help you with the commissioners with planning and also with the strategic planning committee so that we can have like a formalized plan put in place and a mechanism by which we can regularly meet to review the plan and adjust it and see how we're doing. And basically, you know, we just think it's really good, going to be a great tool for the county to help us financially for the future. So any questions you guys have, I'd be happy to answer.
I guess this is the first I heard of it. I didn't
Well, this
get any
is,
information. Is this the group that we okayed
yeah.
from Columbia City that you had the?
No, it's the group that we okayed for last year. We did it as just a half year plan. They're out of Indianapolis, and we originally had them work a little bit on the budget, but the primary reason for hiring them was for planning purposes in the future. So,
Was it, I know we did the same thing or did this with a group from Columbia City.
no, they
Or
were
Whitley
actually,
County?
they were actually from Indianapolis.
Oh,
but-
this is the same group?
It's
that
the
we-
same group, yeah.
We did it for 6 months?
Yeah, that we did for 6 months
Okay.
to try them out. But basically, we just wanted to get them started so they could know our, financial situation so that we could move into planning. So the real purpose for contracting with them is planning.
because this is going to roll into, Bob, remember, we're starting our new strategic development or strategic planning commission. And they're going to help us identify, once we have a strategic plan, we know what items we're going to try and move forward with and fund. One of their objectives is to help us then figure out what funding sources we currently have and how we'd be able to fund those projects or those initiatives that we would like to move forward. But this company also helps the commissioners with the strategic planning and how to fund initiatives or strategic plans that we want to move forward. But it also helps the council with some of their financial planning and some of the other things that they have going on as well, so.
Okay. So this is the group that we
Yeah.
gave them this.
It's
I
just
recall
extending- it's
we-
just
Yeah,
extending
this
the
is just
contract.
extending
It
the
was 6
contract.
months, and now it's going to the full
Yeah.
year.
Okay, so it's going to be another 6 months?
No, it's actually a year contract. We wanted to try them out since we started like right in the middle of the year. We wanted just to try them out.
Because I know there was a hiccup in there somewhere where we thought they were helping and they actually transferred money to other places and then it was difficult to get to it, or this is not the same group that
Oh,
did that?
Well, it's the same group that somewhat advised us on the budget,
Right.
but the whole point of them really was for strategic planning. But since we wanted to hire them so that, I mean, while we had them, we had them look at the budget, because while we're paying for them, we might as well get the most out of our services, but we really didn't need them necessarily for the budgeting process, because the auditor's office does a great job, and, you know, they don't really need the help. But in
Right.
order for them to help us with our planning, it's pretty important that they understand our whole budget and what we're doing and everything
Okay.
else, so.
Okay,
And we did approve them in the budgeting process, so that contract is included in your budget for next year.
okay.
For example, like, the commissioners, when we did the jail work, you know, and how we talked about budgeting for, you know, continued maintenance and stuff like that in the future, that would be the kind of thing that they would be working on and helping us put those budget numbers into our actual budget so that we can keep track of that and plan for it in the future.
Okay, and the council has discussed that and they've decided that's something they want to do?
Well, once we
You're
get
going
past-
to in the
Yes, we
future?
will. In
Okay.
the next meeting, we will.
Right,
We will bring that in front of the
Okay.
council.
I mean, I think with what the county has ahead of us from strategic plan commission that we're rebooting and starting all over with, I think this would be would really fit hand in hand with helping us identify how we could fund some of those initiatives. I mean, I would make a motion that we approve the contract for another year to make sure we can move some of these initiatives that we identify forward as we head into our strategic plan.
okay.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? No further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groiner, aye?
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, 9:15, it's 9:22. We have the public hearing disposal of the Smalley Lane property. Ed?
Yeah. This is in regard to property, real estate that is owned by the county. County took possession of this to clean it up through the health department. And it has been cleaned up. And now that it's been cleaned up, the county would like to consider it for sale back to a private party to get it back on tax rolls. The property is located at the southeast corner of the intersection of County Road 900 South and Smalley Lane in Claypool, and it's lots numbered 30, 31, and 32. Pursuant to Indiana statute, we were required to get 2 appraisals for the property before we set a minimum bid for the property. The 2 appraisals, one was $24,000, the other was $20,000. It is not required that the minimum bid be set at either of the appraisals or an average of the appraisal. Rather, the statute provides that those appraisals have to be done, but in the discretion of the commissioners, they can set the minimum bid at an amount that they think is appropriate. I'll walk you through the motion that I would request that be made, and then we'll open it up to the public hearing. The motion that is requested is that there be a motion to approve the sale of Smalley Lane property with a minimum bid amount as determined by the commissioners. 2, with approval of the following forms that the commissioners have been provided. That is the form of notice of disposition of real estate to be published. That notice will be sent out by the end of this week. The second notice then has to be 7 days from that first notice. And then the beginning of the auction is to be no sooner than 7 days after the second notice. 3, the approval of the real estate purchase agreement form. 4, the approval of the commissioner's deed. 5, the approval of the sales disclosure. And then 6, approval of the auctioneer form of auction agreement that will be provided by the auctioneer as selected by the county administrator pursuant to her purchase authority to do so for that service. The following would be part of the motion and would be the proposed time frame. That there, upon the approval of the form of notice of disposition of the real estate, that it be published as previously stated. That the auction to begin on or about Friday, January 5 and end no later than January 25. Buyer is to sign the real estate purchase agreement upon the end of the auction. The buyer is to deliver the purchase price by cashier's check to the commissioner's office by end of business on January 26, 2024, and sign the sales disclosure at that time. The commissioners would then approve and sign the real estate purchase agreement, the commissioner's deed, and the sales disclosure at the January 30, 2024 commissioners meeting. Commissioners would then record the commissioner's deed along with submitting sales disclosure and pay for recording and transfer fees. And then next, the recorded deed would be sent to buyer once recorded. If one of the commissioners would care to make a motion to that effect, setting the minimum bid amount, upon a second, the matter can then be open for public hearing.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion.
Brad,
I'd make a motion.
We have a motion and do we have a second?
I'll second that, but Brad, do you need to include a minimum price?
Yeah, I think from what I'm hearing that 5,000 would be in order for that, because we know we can always get higher, but we want to make sure that we get it out there. So I'd make the motion at 5,000.
I would second that motion. I think it's important that we make sure we're going to be able to dispose of this property. I mean, we're going through the motions to get this back on the tax roll, so we want to make sure we can get it sold, so.
There's some neighbors in the neighborhood that's put up with this for a while. We got it cleaned up, and they'd like to have an opportunity to expand what they have there. So that 5,000 minimum bid, we this time open the discussion up to anybody in the audience that would be in favor of this motion. Anybody in opposition to? Hearing none, we'll close the meeting to the public. Chair would entertain a motion.
We have a motion and a second. I think we're just ready for a vote.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Kerry Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Okay, motion has been unanimously approved. Ed, you have anything further?
No, thank you.
Okay. County Administrator, we'd like to welcome Ed Ormsby via satellite today, so thank you, Ed, for being here.
You're
County
welcome.
Administrator Marcia McSherry.
Yes, I have an interlocal agreement between Kosciuszko County and the Warsaw-Wayne Fire Territory. This is for terminal services data. Currently, all the outerlying police departments have this same agreement with the county, and now Warsaw-Wayne Fire Territory would like to enter into this agreement, and it would just give them access to the same information that the police departments have.
Okay. That's through the 911 center.
I'd make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with the Warsaw-Wayne Fire Territory.
Very good.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Kerry Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Okay. Anything further? Marcia?
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you. County Auditor Rhonda Helser.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Yes,
Rhonda.
we have some word changes in the agreement for services with Kosciuszko Community Senior Services that you approved last meeting. However, there were some word changes in the agreement. Just need an approval for that.
Okay. That's the nonprofit agreements and the community senior services agreement as well?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Carrie Griner, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. Any office holder or department head have business with the commissioners this morning? Hearing none, we will see you back here on Tuesday, December 19th. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, Brad. See you, Ed.
Recording stopped.
I have a couple of quick questions for you, Will.
Sure.
You said country was Frank. I didn't catch his whole name. I just got Frank.
It's Frank